Are you looking to make that plunge into home ownership but have no idea where to start and you need some guidance? You're in the right place. I'm gonna give you 3 key factors to take into consideration while buying a home. Let's go! So one of the most common regrets of first-time home buyers is not calculating out exactly how much it really costs to buy a home. The first thing you're going to want to do when considering making that plunge into home ownership is really understanding how much the process, the down payment, and after the fact maintenance and stuff is actually going to cost you. You're going to want to audit your budget and make sure that you have prior plans for exactly what's going to happen, and even some set aside for potential emergencies, because now if your hot water heater breaks, that's on you, not your landlord. So the first thing, and this is pretty obvious to most people, is you have to set aside a certain amount for the down payment. That could be 3%, 5%, 10%, 20%. It depends how you decide to finance it. And that's something that you have to discuss with your loan officer. But first of all, make sure that you have at least 3% of the purchase price that you're going for. The next thing is closing costs. So in order to actually close on the loan, you need to give a certain amount of money to the bank for them giving you the money. So it's almost like here's $20, okay, here's $1, So typically this usually ranges somewhere around $6,000. So I'm gonna tell you, save about $7,000 on top of your down payment to make sure that you are covered for your closing costs. Another thing to talk about with your loan officer, because sometimes certain loan officers actually give you credits back towards your closing costs. So maybe it's like 1% of the house they'll give you back. So if it's a $300,000 house, they'll give you $3,000 towards that, and then you only actually owe $4,000 for your closing costs. But just to be safe, set aside about $7,000, because if it's all said and done and you still have a couple thousand in the bank, that's the best case scenario. And I got someone coming to my open house. I'll talk to you guys in a second. Woo! So another Saturday in the books. Got this great listing in downtown Raleigh. 360, and you could literally walk to Fayetteville Street. So I mean, if you're looking for a lifestyle, this is it, but it'll sell quick. So by the time you guys see this, it's gone. Step number 2, when making that leap into home ownership, is don't let your emotions be the driving factor in your decision. Especially being that this is your first home, think of it more as an investment. What is the smartest decision I can make for the long term? I'm only gonna be living in this house 5 to 8 years. So for resale and for how much I'm going to be able to get out of it when I sell it and buy the actual home of my dreams, what is the best case scenario? There are a lot of things that you can do to a house to increase its value. The last thing for emotions is never get too emotionally attached to a property before you are actually closed on it, okay? So even if you're under contract, deals fall through all the time. It's almost like with stock markets, if you get too emotionally attached to your money, you're gonna end up losing money in the long run. You have to think logically about it. If you see a house online, before you even see it, you're already like, yes, this is it, this is perfect. Take a deep breath, realize that this might not be the one that you end up actually living in, but this is definitely an option. Let's go see it, let's make an offer on it. But never get emotionally attached to the point where if you lose out on it, you're devastated, okay? Because that's gonna cause easily the buyer's fatigue, especially in this market where you're probably gonna be seeing up to 10 different houses putting in 5 or 6 offers before you actually get something. One more thing before I let you guys go, and the last piece of advice I'm going to give you is make sure you have the right people with you through this process. The two main people that you need to make sure that you lock in immediately in the beginning of your process is one, your mortgage officer, or the person that you are in contact with through the bank in order for your loan to be the right loan and to go through smoothly. And so your mortgage officer, and then obviously your realtor, because your realtor is going to help you navigate through the entire process, going to get you up to date with the current state of the market, connected with the right people, the inspector, the appraiser, and all that stuff. So make sure you have two relationships locked in up front before you even think about starting the entire process. So the mortgage officer and your realtor are the two most important relationships to have through this process in order for it to go smoothly. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for staying till the end. Make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment on what you would like to learn more about Raleigh real estate or lifestyle related, and I will see you in the next video.